Hello guys, how are you? I hope you all are fine and doing great today. So, in this class, I will be adding population growth to our solo model. Earlier, what we have done? Earlier, we have only took one aspect of growth in solo model, that was accumulation of capital. And you know, in solo growth model, it has three factors. Okay, so while we are studying one factor, we keep the other factor constant, right? Okay, so first factor was accumulation of capital growth, right? Second was population growth, that how population affect the growth. And third part is advancement in technology, basically advancement in technological growth. Okay, so we have studied this one in our previous lessons. If you have not taken the class, first I should say to take this class and then move on to this second aspect, that is population growth. So we are going to discuss about now population growth, keeping the other two constant. Okay. So the basic solo model shows that the capital accumulation by itself cannot explain sustained economic growth, right? Higher rate of saving leads to higher growth, but only temporary. As I already told you that it only leads to level effect, not growth effect. Level effect was this and growth effect is this. Okay. So now to explain the sustained economic growth, we have to consider now two other factors also. And the first one is population growth. We are taking population into consideration, and second one is advancement in technology. So these two leads to sustained economic growth. We have to introduce these two factors so that we can study sustained economic growth, right? But in this section we are only going to add population growth, and in the next part, whenever we are over with this population growth, we will be adding advancement in technology. Okay, at last. Okay, so population growth along with investment and depreciation influences capital stock per worker, right? But how does population growth affect your capital stock per worker? There are two reasons for that. Two reasons. So first one is that depreciation reduces your capital stock per worker. We already studied that, delta K. And what is the second reason that your capital per worker can reduce? Since here you have added the population growth factor, so increase in labor force also reduces capital stock per worker, that is your NK. Okay, so if I tell you what is the combined total of reduction in capital stock per worker is, there are two factors, delta plus n, right? And k. Okay, I didn't do anything, just add these two, so this was your total. On the other hand, you have to see what increases your capital stock. So what increases your capital stock, that is your investment. So now you can write your delta k function. You can modify your delta k function as change in capital stock per worker is equal to investment minus delta plus n k. Earlier it was only delta k because we have not considered the population growth, but now population growth has added, so it will be this. We know we denote investment per worker by small I, right? And this is delta plus n k. Okay, what can I write small I? We have already studied a consumption function. I is equal to saving rate into your income per worker minus delta plus nk small k. This will be, what can I write? Y is equal to f function of capital stock per worker. As you have already studied the production function, right? So if you are not aware of such terms, you should go back to my videos and watch from the starting. Okay, so this is your function delta K, change in capital stock per worker. Now what now I will be introducing one new concept, that is of break even investment. So what is break even investment? Break even investment is nothing but the amount of investment required to keep capital stock per worker constant, and it includes the depreciation of existing capital and amount of investment necessary to provide new worker with the capital. So if I tell you in the simple terms, it will be nothing but when your delta K is equal to, when this is equal to 0, then what is the value of your investment total? So in the steady state, now what will happen? Your break even investment will be equal to your investment, and it simply means that since your steady state per worker, sorry, capital stock per worker is constant, so it will be 0. I'm now finding the steady state, and earlier you already know investment was equal to the depreciation at steady state level, but now due to the introduction of this n also, here it will be equal to, investment will be equal to your break even investment at your steady state, and you know at steady state delta K is equal to 0. So this will, I am writing it directly, Fk is equal to delta plus n. Okay, so this is your, this will be K star, okay, because since delta K is equal to 0, so this is your steady state level. And from this you get your, which condition you will get? You will get your steady state condition, which will be, which you will be going to use in numerical. It will be S upon delta plus n, that is, that stand for population growth. It is K star upon F K star. So if you see here, earlier it was only S upon delta. Now as we add on our another prospect also, so it will get added here, and here it will be remain same. It was just to get you remember, so that you can remember from this formula. You just remember the above form, before formula of S upon delta is equal to K star upon F K star, and again after that you can add, if there is population growth, so you can add n to delta. If there is advancement in technology also, so another factor will be also be added to delta plus n plus the another factor, right? So if I plot this in diagram, so it will be like this. Okay, here you will K star capital stock per worker, but I already told you that you have to write full. I'm just writing it in short form, but you have to write in full always, right? Here you will get output per worker, right? Another you will get your investment per worker, and earlier what you used to write here, depreciation per worker, but now it won't come the depreciation because it is not only delta K, it is delta plus n into K, and which we have named as break even investment, break even investment per worker. Okay, so it will come like this. Now diagram will be same as we were doing earlier. The only difference was in this, it was your depreciation line before, but it is your now break even investment line. This is your investment function, I is equal to S F K, and this is your production function, Y is equal to F small k, and here where these two intersect, this is your K star, steady state level. Okay, and corresponding to that also you can get the other value also. So this will be your diagram for this one, for population growth. It's simple only, we have just added the this factor n, and since it is a constant number, so it won't change the slope. Like it will change the slope, but it will be only straight line. Okay, since it is linear of degree 1. Okay, so now we have to study the effect of population growth on solo model. Okay, so now we are going to study the effect. So basically there are the population growth changes of basic solo model in three ways. So there are 3 points for the effect of population growth on Solow model, right? So the first one is it brings us closer to explain sustain economic growth, as we have already stated that it was only introduced so that we can study about your sustained economic growth. In steady state with population growth, capital stock per worker and output per worker is constant. And so as the number of workers are growing at the rate of n, we have already studied, the number of workers are growing at the rate of n. This means that aggregate capital stock and aggregate output must also be increasing at the rate of n. Okay, since you know that you're in population growth, your population is growing with the rate of n. So this means to provide that population with that capital, so you have to increase your aggregate capital and aggregate capital stock and aggregate output, so that it get divided into the increase in population, and it will be constant. It will be same, so that it won't affect much. So it basically tells about the sustained growth in that manner that you are taking population into consideration, and with the change of population you have to increase your aggregate capital stock and aggregate output, so that to provide that population to provide the increased population with the uh, aggregate output and aggregate capital stock, right? So this was about the sustain economic growth. So it was the first point. Now if I tell you the second point, so second point is that population growth gives us another explanation that why some countries are rich and why some countries are poor. This can be also easily understood by the normal basic thing that if you have more population, your growth will be subjectively less only, right? Since you know, if India has a lesser population, there is more growth, and if the growth is very much, so you have to increase your aggregate output and aggregate capital stock per worker, so that to provide the new growth also with that output and capital stock. So this is similar. So more the growth, more the population, less will be the growth, and vice versa. So it is like this also. And if I show you with the diagram, and also which I am telling you that higher the growth, higher the population, lower will be the growth. It will be only in the Solow model. After that, it may also change if we change the assumption. So everything is possible in microeconomics. It is just based on the assumption. So since Solow assumed that if I show you in the diagram, so let's say I'm telling you in this diagram also, this is your n1 delta plus n1, right? So now this is your one country. Now let's say there is another country with population growth of n2. So now what happened? And n2 is greater than n1. See, okay, this is the condition. So now this will be the next line will be delta plus n2 into k. Okay, so now what will happen? It has, so it will, what will it do? It will your increase the slope because it was delta plus n1. Or we can do it okay, so let's be like this only, delta plus n1. Okay, now n2 is greater than n1. This is of another country and this is of India, let's say. Okay, so n2 is greater, so it will increase the slope, and you know, it increase the slope, it's get steeper, so it will be like this, delta plus n2 into k. And we, since we are only taking population into consideration, so there won't be change in any other factor. So if you see earlier, the country with less population growth has y star this, but the country with and k star this, and the country with more population growth has k star this and y star this. So you can see that it is less. Okay, but also you should know one thing, that if you change the population growth, it may also lead to increase also if you decrease the population growth, but this will be only the level effect only. Okay, since here also if you are saying, let's say we are starting with an N2, we have a more population N2, and after that we reduce the population to N1. So it will be, what will it be? It will be K double star to K star, but it will be only level growth, not the growth effect. It will be only level effect, right? So this was all about the second point. It will be only level effect, that if you change the population rate also, so there will be only level effect, there won't be growth effect. Also, the country with more population will have less per capita GDP. I'm writing this word, per capita GDP, that is less growth. The more the growth the more the population is, the less is the per capita GDP. As you also know that n comes in the denominator, so when denominator increases, the whole proportion decreases, and this is y upon n only. Okay. In third, we are going to discuss about the population growth affects criteria for golden rule level of capital. That how now, from adding the population growth prospect in our solo model, how does it affect the golden rule level of capital? Okay, golden rule. Okay, so you know that earlier, you know y is equal to c plus I, right? uh, this implies, what does it implies? C is equal to y minus I can write that. Okay, and what I can write of y, you know, y is equal to fk, so I'm directly writing C is equal to y minus I we can, I can write at fk. And what is your I is equal to sy, right? And if you don't write sy also, write directly, write fk, sf k star, and it will be k star, because since all the we are studying at all the steady state level, and we have to find out from that, from all the steady state level, which is the golden rule of steady state level that provides you the maximum consumption. Okay, so in this case, you know that, now you know that your investment is equal to your break even investment. So what is your investment? This is your investment, but you know at steady state it is equal to break even investment. So what will be your C star now? It will be fk star minus break even investment was delta n plus k star. Okay, so this is your maximum C star. So now let's check whether it is, so this is your, sorry, this is your consumption function. Now we have to differentiate also, so that you find out your maximizing condition. So you can differentiate with respect to K star. This is easy. It will become as dC star upon del small k star is equal to, this is your mpk star, right, minus delta plus n. So if you put it equal to 0, it will be mp k star is equal to delta plus n. So this is the condition. So here also, if you note the pattern, earlier it was mpk is equal to delta, but now since we added the population growth factor, so it will be mpk is equal to delta plus n. So it is easy. If I want to show it in the diagram, it is also simple. Here always remember to write steady state capital stock per worker, write full. Okay, and here also everything will be steady state, because we are finding from all the steady state that which is the golden rule of steady state. Steady state output, steady state investment, and steady state break even investment. Okay, so this is your break even investment line. Okay, and this is your output function, y is equal to f k star. So to find out the golden rule of level, you know that the slope should be same. So before drawing the in a consumption curve, you should first mark the parallel line to it, so that your slope will be same. Slope is same at this point, so you can draw this line here. This is your k star gold, right? And you will pass your consumption function from here, I star. Everything will be k star, since we have took steady state level. Okay, so this was all about the population growth, right, in solo model, and we studied all the effect and everything. So in the next class we will introduce our third factor also, that was the technological progress. Okay, so thank you guys for watching, and if you like the video, you can share it with your friends so that they also get benefited from the video. And this is for free of cost. I'm not charging anything for it. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Bye.